Is there someone, Mr. Teeter, you're here, can someone just give us a quick overview of the contract? It's pretty straightforward. Hi, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Good
David
afternoon.
Teeter from the Legislative Policy Division. As you said, the contract is fairly straightforward. It is for the renovation construction at the Adams Butzel Recreation Center. There is included a list of items and the costs that they will be carrying out at the center. I would note the department indicated they requested bids twice for this work, and both times they only received the one bid from this vendor, so they wanted to proceed with the contract. The other thing I would note that I did indicate other recent work at Adams Butzel, and the most significant work has been the renovation of the ice rink a number of years ago.
Okay. And then the improvements and renovations are going to happen as soon as the contract is approved. Do they plan on starting those renovations immediately, or?
I do not know that. I would guess as soon as they can.
Okay. Are there any questions at all from colleagues? Councilmember Spivey.
Sure, thank you. My concern was first that Mr. Teeter brought up the same vendor bidding twice. I would like to know who did they solicit bids from, and why do they think only one came back each time? I know in the past we've had issues with paying people, so people didn't want to put a bid out, know when they might get paid. But I would like to know who they solicited bids from, so that we know it wasn't just sent to one person both times, one vendor both times. But Ms. Mobley is not here, so I would like to know that, Madam Chair.
Okay. I'm thinking Ms. Mobley would be here, okay. Correct? So can we bring this back to towards the end of the agenda? Okay. I know, right? Bring it back in 2 minutes. So we'll motion to bring this back at the end of the agenda. Thank you. There being no objections. Oh, here she is. Ms. Mobley. Ms. Mobley, there was a question from Councilmember Spivey as relates to the bids for the contract. You want to state your question?
Sure. For you, Madam Chair, Ms. Mobley, there was one vendor that bidded twice and no other bids were submitted or others were solicited. Do you all know how many solicitations went out?
Through the chair, I would have to request that specifically from purchasing.
Okay. Can they have it for Tuesday?
I'm sure.
Wednesday?
I'm sure I can.
Okay. And then why did this one vendor just come back both times and no one else? Before you came in, I know in the past we had problems paying people. Sometimes people didn't bid on the projects, not knowing if they would get paid on time. And that. So I'll add that in the memo as well. Madam Chair, I'm okay to move it pending responses to the questions that I have submitted today.
Okay. Councilmember Tate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Ms. Mobley, I would also like to know if you will send those responses back to Ms. Spivey. The actual cost budgeted to each of the two appropriations, so I can't seem to find it anywhere. I know it indicates that it's coming out of two appropriations, but it doesn't indicate the exact amount.
Through the chair, can you repeat your question, Councilmember Tate, so I can make sure I get that correctly to the department? So
it appears that the costs are budgeted to two different appropriations. One is the general obligation bond fund, and the other, and this has an account number, and the other has a separate account number for the general fund. And just wanted to know how much was being budgeted to each of the two appropriations.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Ms. Mobley, we can move this forward pending those responses before Tuesday. If there's Go
Through
ahead.
the chair, I think if you were moving this to be acted upon, you'd have to move it to new business.
To new business, and that's for Wednesday, actually.
Right.
So, move to new business, pending responses to questions from colleagues. Okay. There being no objections, that motion stands approved. All right, line item number 2 and line item number 3, we can take together. Line item number 2 is contract number 86310, 100% other funding. This is a project compliance assistant to implement fitness nutrition activities between the Detroit Recreation Department and the Coca-Cola Troops for Fitness program. Contractor is Antoine Flowers. Contract amount is $24,300. Line item number 3 is contract number 86311, 100% other funding. Project manager to provide project management for the National Recreation Park Association's Coca-Cola Troops for Fitness program. The contractor is Philip Talbert. Contract amount is $28,800. May I have a motion to discuss 2 and 3, please? Thank you. To Ms. Mobley, just want to get an understanding of this contract. Both of these contracts, are these 2 contractors veterans, or are they required to be veterans for the program?
Through the chair, per the questions that were provided in Mr. Teeter's report, these 2 contractors are not required to be veterans. However, one of them is, and to fulfill the requirements of the grant, they will hire 26 veterans to fill those required positions that are delineated in the grant. It just so happens one of the personal service contracts does happen to be a veteran.
Okay, and then currently, is this grant going to be monitored by the grants management department?
Through the chair, some of the specifics that relate to the functionality of the Office of Grants Management and the relationships with all the other departments are in the stages of development. And so currently, this will be most likely managed in recreation, and then as the Office of Grants Management gets up and running, it will most likely provide support to the varying departments for grant management.
Okay. Okay, and then just overall with the program, do you know, have they hired any veterans, or where are they with the program? Because I know they've been advertising it a lot, and just kind of want a status as to how the program is going thus far.
Through the chair, I can request that information specifically from Recreation. I'm not aware as to whether or not they have been able to fill any of the 26 positions as of yet for the program.
Okay. Any questions at all from colleagues? Councilmember Spivey.
Thank you. You asked the first question, either one of these person veterans. So the 26 that are going to be hired, Ms. Mobley, through you, through the chair to you, Ms. Mobley, is it coming out of the 192?
Through the chair, I believe so. It's part of the grant. It's part of the grant requirement. I'll confirm though exactly where those funds come from.
So they're part-time, I would assume.
Yes.
26 folk is paid out of a pot of $192,000.
Yes.
Okay, if you can have that too, that'd be great. Thank you.
So Councilmember Spivey, you want confirmation as to these 2 contractors coming out of the total $192,000 for the year?
You're right, the 26.
Those are. I do have that information. The 2 personal service contracts are apportioned to the grant.
So the 24, through you, Madam Chair, the 24 and 28 is coming out of the 192.
Yes, the contracts will be paid out of the personal services portion of the grant. That's
So
the
the 26
that I have.
So the 26 vets will get like 1 out of 140 then.
Right. So I'll confirm whether or not the 26 positions, but Mr. Teeter does have his hand up.
Okay.
What was Mr. Teeter, did you have a question or concern?
I just, through the chair, I just wanted to point out that the $192,500 is what's spread out at least over 2 years.
Right. Okay.
$145,000 is for the first year, $47,500 is for the second year. So there isn't probably a lot of money from the grant itself, but at least in the scope of services for Mr. Talbert, who is providing the project management, it did indicate that one of his responsibilities will be identifying potential community partners and soliciting support. So I assume they will be looking for additional funding for now and beyond the 3-year grant period.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions? Did you still need something back from Ms. Mobley, Councilmember Spivey, or that's fine? Okay. Councilmember Tate, any questions? Okay. All right.
Through the chair, do you still want me to inquire about the status of being able to hire the veterans, or did Mr. Teeter's response kind of speak a little bit to that?
He spoke to it, and then I can also reach out to Ms. Mentor and get a
Okay.
status of what's going on with the program as well. All right, there being no further questions, I would like to move line items 2 and 3 to formal for approval. There being no objections, that motion stands approved. You want it for new business? To new business, I'm sorry. There being no objections, that motion stands approved. All right, from the Police Department, line item number 4, this is a petition of Susan G. Coleman, Barbara Ann Carmano's Cancer Institute, petition number 426, request to hold the 24th annual Susan G. Coleman Race, Detroit Race for the Cure, starting at Shane Park on May 16th, 2015. May I have a motion to discuss? All right, this is the annual breast cancer walk, about a year early with their report. Ms. Mobley, did you have an update?
Through the chair, I'd like to request that this be brought back next week. Unfortunately, I cannot recall offhand whether or not this one was actually ready to go.
Okay. Councilmember Tate?
I move to receive the final district report though from the police department.
Okay.
Bring back in 2 weeks. Is that what was requested?
1 week.
1 week.
Just 1 week.
All right, so there's a motion to receive and file. There being no objections, that motion stands approved. Then there's also a motion to bring line item 4 back in 1 week.
So moved.
There being no objections, that motion stands approved. All right, line item number 5 is a walk-on. Make sure colleagues did receive the memo. This is from the administration for an authorization to extend the grant agreement with the State of Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant for improvements at Peterson Playfield. May I have a motion to discuss?
So moved.
Thank you. Ms. Mobley, can you give us an update on the request that's before us?
Through the chair, this authorization to extend the MDNR grant funds is for time only to allow the improvements to be done and to actually expend the funds.
What do you know? What was the holdup as to why it wasn't done?
I think maybe we just approved the first version of it a couple months or so ago, so it might have kind of cut into some of the construction season.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And just so the public will know what the repairs are for, the repairs and improvements include a comfort station, graffiti removals, spray park repairs, and other amenities within the playfield. Is there any question at all from colleagues? No? Okay. Ms. Mobley, so this same thing happened earlier today with the walk-on procedure, and that it's supposed to go through the president's office first.
Through
and
the
then
chair,
to
I did send it to both you and the president yesterday, and did request that if it was advisable, you all would let me know if it could be walked on. And I hadn't received a response, so I wasn't sure that you were going to walk it on today.
Okay, so it was submitted through the president's office?
It was submitted to you in both the president's office yesterday,
Okay.
along with your staff.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move this, if there's no objections, to formal new business. There being no objections, that motion stands approved for line item number 5. Thank you. All right, that is the end of our line items. We will now move to public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? All right, that is the end of public comment. Now to member reports, Councilmember Tate.
Neighbor report, ma'am.
All right, Council.
I hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable Angels Night.
Good.
Annual holiday.
Are you participating?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, Councilmember Spivey.
No report, thank you.
Alrighty. I just want to remind residents of Light Up District 5 that will be held November the 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. Once again, that's Light Up District 5, a Community District 5 Light Update, November the 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. And tonight, I will be at New Calvary Baptist Church off of Concord Street, 3975 Concord, for an expungement event with Judge Deborah Thomas. Looking forward to seeing all of those residents out who need assistance and information on how to expunge their records. That is all I have today. Is there any other business to come before the body? This meeting is adjourned.